Guess who's back again.
It was a
Caitlyn's
Karen,
back,
I was watching
back. She's my friend. That's a cute milkshake cup.
It is yours.
Thank you. Caitlyn's been at the pancake train. Pancake train.
The guy, I think he must be the owner.
Did-
Really cool dude.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
Oh,
have some
thank
water.
you.
He was like, yeah, sure. Came back, put this on my table. It's like all like smoked up because it was cold.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and he was like, oh, it's free, don't worry about it. I'm like,
Oh.
oh, well, I can still pay for it. And he was like, I don't believe in making people pay for water.
See, this
And
is
I was
why
like,
we need to
that's
move to
kinda sick.
Tasmania. This Tasmania, I'm telling you.
I will admit, I didn't totally see what you meant until I was driving by myself, and then I was like, shit, I could actually see myself doing this.
Yeah.
The driving got me.
Yeah.
Gonna go for it?
Toxic. You know what? We like it when people at least give us a heads up. You know? They're like, this is what to expect. This is my personality.
Is that Mercury?
Toxic.
Is it a hotel? What is it?
The voice of Tasmania, it says. Toxic. Can someone explain?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I can't
No.
anymore. No. Okay.
No more.
I mean,
toxic
red flags aren't too bad as long as they're in front of you, right? Even though that
Exactly.
one was black and white, technically.
The sign was there, right in black and white
Yeah.
this whole time.
You should
He
know
was
better.
toxic. Should
Yeah.
have known better. Hello.
We don't want to learn about Jesus.
Oh.
We can learn about the
What about
Pastel.
our Lord and Savior Dumpling?
Yes. Excellent. Yes.
I'll hear about that one.
That's one we
Who's
want.
here? Who have we? Oh wow.
Oh, this is
Is that,
nice.
is that Jenny?
Yes.
Oh, your hair. The window is like shining. Your hair looks blue, and I was like, that person with blue hair looks like Jenny.
Yeah, because of the light.
Would you like a drink, baby?
No, but would you like to hear a terrible tale?
Oh, Doc, okay?
Oh yeah, I don't. Well, actually, I don't know, but
Caitlyn,
let me start at the beginning.
okay, now we
In the
know.
beginning, so flight was supposed to be Rosie. I'm sorry, she's so beautiful. Flight was supposed to be at 8. So we looked at the GPS and it was like, oh, to get to the airport by, because you want to check in and everything in advance. So it was like to get there by 7:20, leave here at 6:40 or something like that.
Yeah.
So Caitlin's like, do you think I have time for a shower? And I said no. And she's like, I'll be quick. So her 5-minute shower turned into like 15 minutes.
Oh, damn it.
And then we get in the car, and then I start reversing up the driveway, and she's like, I've forgotten my glasses. And then so I have to stop, and she runs in for the glasses, and then we got to stop and open that gate, and then we've also got to close the gate, and then it's a dirt road, so you can't drive too fast. And the GPS suddenly changes from saying it would take us like 30 minutes to get to the airport, or 25 minutes to get to the airport, and it changes to like 45 minutes. And we're like,
Traffic.
what?
Yeah.
But when I'd put it in, I'd said like arrive by this time. So I was like, there must have been an accident on the road or something, for it to change like that. So it wasn't an accident. We finally figured out what it was after crawling through traffic. It was when we were going across the Hobart Bridge. There's meant to be 3 lanes on one side and 2 on the other, or whatever. They'd reduced us. Yeah, they changed it down to one, so it was one single lane on our side.
Oh,
So like
okay.
Wow.
just one lane.
Actually, I don't think it's normal.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. So we were just crawling, like it was like the bridge was like a car park. We just weren't even moving, and so the GPS just keeps getting slower and slower. And then the estimated arrival time was like the same time as the plane was meant to be taking off.
Oh, dear.
But then when we got to the other side of the bridge, there was no one going out that way to the airport. Everyone was coming towards the city.
Yeah.
So I did some minor crimes and like sped, and I managed to regain some lost time, speeding to the point that I actually, GPS-wise, it was like, you'll get there on time. And I was like, goody. Did go past a speed camera, so definitely got a fine. And I was like, but that's okay, because the fine won't be as much as a flight back home, because like having to get another flight would have been like $500, $600. So it's fine. It is a fine, but it is fine. And then I get her there, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, yes, we've made it. And then I drop her and she runs in, and then I go down to 7 Mile Beach or whatever it's called, because it's just a few kilometers down the road. And I was like, just in case she doesn't make the flight, I'll just wait here and I'll take some pictures of birds. And I don't even get to pull my camera out, and my phone rings. And she goes, so you know how you made it on time? I didn't. So when she went through, I don't know whether because I'd said to her, when you get in there, just run to the front of security and tell them you're late, and they let you through. You don't have to line up or anything like that. So I don't know what happened.
Transpired
but she was crying, so I didn't want to ask what happened. So then I was like, no worries, I'll come back. And I come back, pick her up. She gets in the car. She's bawling her eyes out. And I was like, all right, let's just go back to I found this really pretty spot by the water. There's like a lagoon. There's ducks. You know, we'll just relax for a little bit. Yeah, I'm like, oh, you're sad? Bird. So we go there, and she's like, I need to call my boss. I was supposed to have a meeting today. And I said, oh, what for? And she said, oh, well, my contracting job, they want to hire me full time, but they want to do a meeting. I guess it's kind of an interview. And I was like, you have an interview today, a job interview? And she was like, well, not really, because I'm already a contractor for them, but it's more like, you know, to see if I'm possibly good to be a full-time position. And so I was like, what time is your interview meant to be? And she was like, it was meant to be at 1:00. And when's the next flight? 7:30 p.m. Okay, so you're not going to make it for your interview. Can you just do it over the phone? And she was like, I need to find out. And so she said, I'm just going to call my boss. Maybe you can go take photos of the ducks, and I'll just stay in the car and call. So an hour goes past, and she has not come out of the car yet. And I don't know what's happening. And I see this duck, and it's like lying on its side. And I was like, oh, these ducks are very friendly, and they're all swimming around, and they're coming up to my feet because people must feed them a lot. So they were super friendly. So the one that was lying down, I was like, that's a pretty relaxed duck. And then eventually she comes out of the car, and she says, okay, we've got to go back to your Airbnb. I need to use your laptop. I need to have a conference call. Apparently it is an interview, and there's 6 board members of the company that are supposed to be at the interview. And I was like, what sort of interview has 6 board members? Like, what sort of job are you going for? And I know, and she's a graphics designer, and the reason that all the board members wanted to be involved is because she would be like the making. So it's like a company run by boomers, and they're like, we need a young person we need a youth to make to make the company popular, kind of thing. So they all the members of the board wanted to meet the potential youth person to is this person the right. Yeah. And
First time I've spoken with anyone under the age of 30.
Yeah. And so then she's like, I need to go, we need to put on your laptop, I need to have this conference call, so I need to have like a webcam, and they need to be able to see me and everything, so we need to go. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to finish taking pictures and then we'll go. And then I came back to the spot where that duck was, and I was like, this duck hasn't moved. And then I went right up to it, and I reached my hand out, and then it couldn't stand up, like its legs were paralyzed, and so it used its wings to like push itself upright, and then it flapped its wings a bit and then it flew, and then it landed in the water, and then it started sinking, because they need to do like so then it flew out of the water again, and then it landed in the water again, and then started sinking again. So I was like, I can't leave this duck here, like I've got to catch it. So I put on my waders, and I was wading around in the water, and it wasn't moving that quickly, so it was easy enough to catch. But the water that was only coming up to me, like up to my sort of just below my knees, that was fine, until I took a step forward, and my entire left leg sunk so far deep into sand, like it just went straight down into sand, that the sand was like up to here, like up to my pelvis. But my right leg, so like that leg is literally that deep in sand. So then this leg hadn't gone down, so I was like, oh shit, like if I put this leg straight and try to step, that one will disappear too. So I just kept feeling myself sinking lower and lower. Caitlyn is on the phone to her colleague Tia, crying, like saying, and she can't hear me, and I'm going, Caitlyn, help! And I'm literally getting like deep, and the waders come up to here, and I'm getting deeper and deeper with my left leg, and my right leg is like out like this, and I'm trying to kind of like, and I'm like, don't point the toe downwards because it'll sink, so like try to push, and then I lost my balance and I put my hand like that, and then my arm started going down, so then my like left leg, so then I go so deep down into the water that the water starts going into the waders, and my waders start filling with water, and then I start getting heavier and heavier, and I literally like I can't even move my body, and I start having a panic attack, and I start like hyperventilating, and I was like, no, just, I know. I was just like, wait, don't, if you have a panic attack, you'll like exhaust yourself. And I was like, just stop moving. So I just stopped, and I was like, just breathe. And I'm just like, Caitlyn. And then I can just slowly feel myself sinking. And I get to like this point in the water, and I'm still sinking. And I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna die. Like, this is it. This is the end of Pretty Pastel, please. At least I tried. But I like somehow, because my right leg never actually went straight down into the sand, I just kept sort of moving my leg around and reaching with my toe until I found like a firm kind of something firm, and I got a stick, and I got my toes, and I was not my toes, my boot, and I like pulled the stick out, and then I had the stick, and I kind of like, it took me a really long time. And I was physically so fucking exhausted. Like, I was out of breath, and the waders was full of water, and I couldn't get out of them. I tried to pull myself out of them, but the water pressure like suctioned me inside. So I like crawled onto the water bank, like onto the sand, and like collapsed. And then Caitlyn just appears from behind some trees, and she's like, "So, are you ready to go?" And I was like, she goes, "No." She's like, "Have you caught the duck?" I'm like, "No." And then I was like, fuck the duck. And then I was like, no, wait. No, don't fuck the duck. Because if I fuck the duck, then, if I say fuck the duck, then all of that was for nothing. So I better actually catch the duck. I'm not going to stop until I catch the duck, because if I leave now, then I just about died for literally no reason. So then
Did you tell Caitlyn you nearly died?
I did eventually, but I waited until, because she was really stressed out from her meeting and everything. So then I waited until after she had her meeting to tell her. But I caught it eventually by using the big stick, because it wasn't afraid of the stick, it was afraid of my hands. So like I reached the stick out, and I sort of like put it on its neck, and just sort of lightly held its neck on the ground. And so that way it couldn't push its body up because its feet weren't working. So having its little neck down meant when it put its wings out, it couldn't really fly. It couldn't do anything. So I just sort of pinned it down quickly, and then scooped it up, and then it just was a super chill duck. It was a friend, like it was a good duck.
Chill. You cuddling the duck as you
It was like
comfort from your dying.
literally clutching the duck to my chest, because I'm like, and the duck is like, cool. Like didn't even struggle. So it was very comforting to hold the duck. Yeah. And I had to walk back to the car in the waders, and we videoed it. And as I'm walking, it's like sloshing. Like I literally sound like the edge of the water, because there's so much. There's like, I am up to here in my waders in water. Like, and we get to the car, and I put the duck on the back seat, and it just lay on the back seat. And then I had to get out of the waders, and I had to put, my body was suctioned inside because of the water pressure, so it took me a really long time to get it off. And then when I got out of it, and I like tipped it upside down, and water went everywhere, and I looked at my legs. Too much information, but my period had started yesterday. So when you are literally in a wading suit full of water, and you're wearing a pad, it like just red water came out.
Oh, that's terrible.
And my white socks are red.
Oh, no.
And I like sit down in the car, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to cuddle this duck. And Caitlyn was like, well, it says on the website that you should not have any contact. You put them in dark space. And I was like, fuck off. I was like, let me cuddle the duck. And I'm not wearing a top because like I left the pants on because I was like, I just put a plastic bag down to sit on, but I had no change of pants, and I had this in the back seat. I brought this over yesterday to show you, and so I had this, so I put this on, and I'm just sitting there, like, cuddling the duck, and then Caitlyn's like, well, let's call around and see where we should take it. And we had to call so many different places to see who would take the duck. And then they wouldn't take it until we identified what type of duck it was. So luckily for me, Arden has given me a book of all of the ducks in Tasmania. So I pull it out and I very confidently tell them it's a mallard. And they were like, how do you know that? And I was like, well, I have a picture of one in this book here.
A picture of one and one.
Yeah, and I'm holding it and I'm looking at the reference photo and it is in fact a mallard. And they were like, oh, okay, so because it's a mallard, you've got to take it to, because the different types of ducks go to different rescue places. Okay. So then we had to go to Mornington to take the duck to this place in Mornington. And we drive all the way there. And it's like a half-hour drive. We pull into the driveway of the place, and the duck decides in that moment to shit on me. So not only are my pants wet with, like, disgusting water and bloody water, I then have green poo, and it shat like a litre of green poo on me. Like, and the poo was just algae. It was just like water and algae, and it smelt like rancid oysters. And I'm just sitting there looking in my lap, and I look at Caitlyn, and I was like,
oh, to be Rosie right now and not knowing.
yeah, she's just like, ah.
She's like, wow, good story.
Yeah, wow, everyone's laughing. Yeah. So then I said, Caitlyn, can you please go inside and get them? And I'm just sitting there like, please. And I'm just cuddling the duck. It's just sitting in its own shit, and I'm just cuddling it and stroking it, just like completely disassociating. And then this lady comes out carrying a box, and she opens my car door, and she's like, hello, how are... I'm terribly sorry. So you should be, lady. Yes, this is your... Yeah. And so she just picks the duck up off my lap, and she just like lingers at my lap for a second, like taking it all in, and then she puts the duck in the box, and she's like, well, just need you to sign some paperwork. And I was like, Caitlyn, please, can you do the paperwork? And she's like, oh, okay. So Caitlyn disappears off inside, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what do I clean this with? Do I even bother cleaning it at this point? But the smell, I was like, I got to do so. The smell is so bad. So luckily I had like a cloth that I used to clean my camera lens and stuff. So I just used that to like wipe up all the duck poo off me. And my condolences. And then we just drive home in total silence, because by that point, once I gave the duck away, all the adrenaline and everything and dopamine that I was receiving from the duck dissipated. And I looked at the time, and it's almost 1 o'clock, and I normally take my decks like at 6 a.m. and then 10 a.m. and then like 1 p.m. So I'd missed my dose, and I was sort of coming almost up to the time of my second dose, and I didn't have it with me because, you know, I was planning on just dropping Caitlyn at the airport and being straight back again. So I didn't have my decks, and then so I just kind of like, my brain just slowed down. And then we just took the whole car ride in complete silence. We get back to the place. She goes to have her meeting, and she doesn't know how to use a Mac. I have a Mac laptop. She doesn't know how to use it. Then they want her to use a specific program for not Zoom, like not Skype. They were like, can you download this thing? Some other thing. And so she has to download it. And then my computer won't grant access to the microphone and the video, then the camera. And she's like, on her phone to them and saying to them, sorry, I'm trying to set it up. And there's like these 7 people sitting in a boardroom and waiting on the other end of the call. And she's like, Alex, help, how do I get the microphone to work and all this? And I'm playing around with it and I can't get it to work. And then she's like, okay, I'll just download the app on my phone. And then she tries to download it on her phone, and it's lagging so badly that it's not working. So then she just ends up having to just have a phone call with these people, because they really wanted her to be on camera and stuff. So then she has a phone call, and then it finishes, then she comes out and she's like, oh, everything went really well, actually. They were just asking me whether the banner should be red or yellow. And like, that's all that was like, I'm sorry, I thought it was like a conference meeting. And she's like, well, yeah, there were 6 members of the board and the owner, but they were just asking me about the color scheme of the website or something. And that was it. And then anyway, so then she's like, I'm really hungry, do you want to go out? And I was supposed to upload a video on my main channel today for like a sponsorship, and I was like, well, I have to stay here and edit this video, so I can't come out for food, but feel free to go. So she went out to the Margate, the train. Yeah, she went there for the pancakes, and
Nice.
then I was supposed to do my sponsorship, but then the only thing that could like relax me was just looking at property online. So I just opened realestate.com for a little bit of relaxation to put myself in a good mindset to then edit my video. And then I got very carried away looking at real estate. And then Caitlyn's like, okay, we need to leave. And I'm like, isn't your flight at 7:30? And she's like, yes, but I need to be there by 5:30. And I was like, why? And she's like, because my mum said so. So I was like, fine.
Listen to a mom.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it. Your mum knows who she. You know what? If we'd done what your mum does, if I'd gotten you there 2 hours early, this wouldn't have happened. So then I go to drive her to the airport, and I'm driving along that southern fucking the main one that takes you into town, and a police officer on a motorbike is on the side of the road, and not even 20 seconds prior to me noticing him, I was like, what's the speed limit here? And I looked at Google Maps and it said 100 Ks. And I set my speed, I was using cruise control and I'd set it to like 95.
Yeah.
And he waves his hands at me and I was like, why is this guy pulling me over? Like I'm doing 5 Ks under the speed limit. And he comes over and he's like, oh, sorry, miss, you were speeding. And I was like, was I? And he shows me and he's like, yeah, you were doing 91 kilometers an hour. And I was like, in 100 zone. He's like, no, it's an 80 kilometer zone.
Oh, I know what you are. Yeah.
And I was like, and you could literally see it on Google Maps. I was like, but it says it's 100 kilometers. And he's like, well, Google's wrong. Because anyway, so he's like, let me just write you up a fine and it'll be sent to your home address. So I got the fine from speeding in the morning, trying to get her there on time. And then I got the fine when I was literally not speeding in my head. Because I was like, we're 2 hours early. I don't need to speed. I'll literally set my cruise control to 5 kilometers under the speed limit. You know?
If you were speeding, you'd be cool.
I know. And then, anyway, so when I got the fine from the police officer and I wound up my window and we started driving away, I just started laughing. Like, that was the point where I was like, I'm just like, what is this day? And then I got Caitlyn to the airport, dropped her off, and then went to the beach, and I just stood at 7 Mile Beach photographing seagulls for like an hour just to decompress. And I got some very, very good photos of seagulls like dive bombing into the water, so that was fine. And now I'm here.
Would you like some water?
I would like some water. I'm ready for that now. Good morning, dear friends. I didn't film yesterday because I was having a lovely day with the NPCs and I had Jenny and Hannah over for a sleepover last night, and here comes Hannah now, and we're hanging out today. And did you find your phone? No,
I'm retracing my steps.
Okay. Well, we went and got house cakes from Banjo's, and Hannah's going to probably at some point today sit at the lovely table out there and write and be inspired by nature and be a Tasmanian and sit in the cold in a t-shirt. And I will sit here.
It's got sleeves.
It's actually very cute. Where'd you get it?
Dangerfield.
This is my entire second channel will just turn into like a massive Dangerfield sponsorship. Yes, so we're just going to relax because look, if I sit here, there's a window that looks out like that, and we're just going to sit in this little cozy nook and just have a nice morning and also lose our phones. It's somewhere. I'll help you find it. Good morning, dear friends. Look at the most magical and fantastic cafe ever that Jenny has brought me to. Look, it's so cute. It's called Boho in Kingston. Thank you for bringing me here. You're so welcome. This is a heartwarming experience. Look at the garden. And look out the back here. There's like literally a greenhouse that you can eat in. I love it. Do you want to sit here? Is this okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I was hoping the greenhouse would be free, but
we can stalk it. When they leave, we can steal their spot.
if they leave, we will.
Yes. Okay. Look, there's sparrows flying around everywhere, and I've been taking photos. I have my turmeric oat latte, and you've got your cappuccino. We're waiting for croissants. I could not be happier right now. I'm very at peace with Jenny. There she is. Hello. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, him. Actually, no, you need to tell me. When I always say ladies and gentlemen because of the TikTok, but I'm like, what can I say that's more inclusive?
Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, or
My favorite.
mothers and fuckers of the jury.
Yeah, my favorite. That's my favorite one. Mothers and fuckers.
May I present him?
Or the one that I really like comes from A Knight's Tale, which is my lords, my ladies, and everyone else not sitting on a cushion.
So this is Errol. He has a very gaping.
He has a butt.
He won't be sold like that. He'll be stuffed with.
He will be stuffed. He will also have a face and wings.
I mean,
He's not done.
He's pretty cute the way he is. I like that we know what he is, even without the face and the wings.
Yeah.
I love him.
I love him. Jenny.
Yes.
We both, with our OCD, have very specific cup usage. I use cups like this for tea.
I hate cups like that.
I hate them. I hate them. But that if I was going to use, if I had to use one, only tea. I wouldn't use this. I don't like this. I don't like the height of it.
I don't like it
compared to the
sitting
handle.
on it.
Yep.
It's wrong.
Same as this. I would use this for stationery, but I wouldn't drink out of it.
I might use it for hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate is fine for tall ones, ish. This I would probably use that for a coffee. I don't mind this shape. It's all right. Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate's fine.
Like that shape.
That shape is good. This is good shape.
This one?
Yeah, I like this shape.
Yes.
No, too
no.
short. It's too short.
I don't like anything like too wide. It's not right.
Down here, this makes me uncomfortable. This is again similar to this. For me, it's like wide top hot chocolate. Okay.
I don't think I would use any of the mugs here.
This is, I wouldn't use it, but this is the only thing I've liked so far. And also the one with the birds on it. This is, I don't like this. This is too sharp on the tops. Don't like that. No, absolutely burn in hell. No, thank you. This is way too wide.
Yeah.
Way too wide. That one is for a travel mug. If it had a little plastic thing, maybe. And then these other two, they are all wrong.
Yeah, it flares out at the top.
Yep,
It's
not right. It's
Maybe
cute.
for tea.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So none of these are none of them.
None of these are the right
no.
mug. This one's the closest.
That- literally
but
the
even
same.
then, not quite.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That was the only one. I was like, maybe that one. But yeah, this type, I hate these. But if I go to someone's house and I'm gonna have a cup of tea, that's the only cup that I'll have a tea out of.
I got rid of all of our mugs that were that shape.
Me too.
Not long ago,
I did
because I
too.
was just like, this just brings me distress.
Oh,
I
you're
never
gonna
use them, and it
like
makes me stressed.
you'll like the ones at my place. I promise. When you come,
Yeah.
when you come stay, you'll be like, I'll open this drawer and it'll be all perfect. And Jenny does exactly the same thing as me. I'm going to buy this, and I'm not going to use it. And if I do, what am I going to do with it?
It will be full of plans for the same room.
The same room in different iterations on every single page.
Every single possibility.
I must write all of them down.
Yes.
And I also must push the furniture around so all of them get tried at least once until they feel right. And when it's right, when is it right, Jenny?
Never.
It's right. It's right when it's right.
It's right when it's right. And it's right for one day, and then it's not right anymore.
Look, Michelle. It's Michelle's favourite things. Wow. I'm sure there's something in here that she would like, but instead of picking for her, I'm just going to force her to come to Tasmania and pick for herself. Look, Michelle. The Crystal Bible. Crystal Directory. The Book of Stones. Crystal Collections. If this isn't enough motivation to move to Tasmania with me, I don't know what is. Excuse me. Hi. Sorry to interrupt everyone. I was just wondering if Clay, one of our courier pigeons, might be able to come and assist with some transport. We've got some things to take down to Tasmania, and he's just wondering when might be a suitable time to visit. Anyone have any problem with him coming? What? Anytime? Anytime? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. I'll let him know. Thank you.